Been a while since this team has started 4-1. You got to go back to 2014 with names like Prescott, Robinson, Wilson, Ross, Brown, Calhoun. They feel like they've got some of that mojo working here in 2022. This place is electric. The Arkansas Razorbacks are in town. It's an SEC West Classic showdown. And here come the Bulldogs. It is an early start, but you would not know it today. It is gorgeous here in Starkville at Davis Wade Stadium. The Arkansas Razorbacks have dropped 2 games. Mississippi State's won a couple in a row. 2 teams certainly trying to keep it on the tracks in a lot of ways. It'll be interesting and fun this afternoon. Dave Neal alongside my partner, Deuce McAllister. Glad you could join us. And Deuce, the last couple of years, Arkansas has had Mississippi State's number, albeit close football games. But if you're a Mississippi State fan, what makes you believe today's going to be a little bit different than those past couple of games?
Well, I think it starts with the quarterback, Will Rogers. Just trusting and understanding how he is able to lead and play this game gives you a lot of confidence, not only for this game, but, going forward this season.
Well, certainly this Mississippi State team is led by their quarterback, Will Rogers. He has been fantastic all year. Last year, just an unbelievable season, set so many school records. Now he's chasing down conference records. You see that, 7 completions needed to pass Aaron Murray for career completions, and he's done it in about half the games. The list is long, illustrious, but there are some names, some great quarterbacks in this league over the years. What is it about Will Rogers, Deuce, that makes him so successful?
Well, I think for me, it's having the ability to make every pass. Whether you're talking about, obviously, they run the screen game really, really well, but you talk about the short, the intermediate passes. He has the ability to be able to have great ball placement where his receivers can go up and make that catch, and I think that's a great attribute for any quarterback.
Well, the biggest story coming out of Arkansas and maybe in the SEC this week is this guy, KJ Jefferson, the team leader, the captain, the vocal leader of this team. Would he play, would he not play? Got hurt last week against Alabama, led the team off the bus today, but he will not start in this game. That means that there will be a different signal caller. Cade Fortin, the transfer who has started some FBS games before, transferred in from South Florida. And we'll see Malik Hornsby as well at quarterback, the super athlete. So what does this mean now for Arkansas?
Well, it definitely changes what they do from an offensive standpoint. Even from a running back's perspective, not having that quarterback's ability to run changes the looks that you will get. So I'll be interested to see how this Arkansas offense handles it.
All right, that'll be a storyline all day we'll keep an eye on. And for more on this Arkansas quarterback situation, let's go down the sidelines and check in with Tiffany Blackman. Hey, Tiffany.
Hey, guys. This team believes in Cade Fortin. And when I talked with receiver Jaden Hazelwood, he told me they rotate quarterbacks so much in practice, they're comfortable with all of them. Though he did say Cade is a leader, whether he's first string, second string, or third string, that he attacks the day and makes the most of his opportunities. And as for KJ Jefferson, just being here, well, Coach Sam Pittman said just his presence alone has such a positive impact on this team. He will be cheering them on, guys, and helping to coach them up when he can.
Well, Arkansas won the toss, Tiffany, and they deferred, so we'll see Will Rogers first this morning here at Davis Wade Stadium. Boy, a huge crowd outside the stadium still trying to work their way in. SEC Nation had a throng of folks watching their show today. Hopefully they'll get here in a matter of moments as this one will sail out of bounds. So good field position for the Bulldogs to start behind Will Rogers, the junior out of Brandon, Mississippi, who is just having some sort of season again. Look at the completion percentage. And he's actually, as you mentioned a little bit.
Kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down to Mississippi State.
It's not all dinks and dunks this year. He's taking some more shots.
Yeah, he's definitely pushing the ball down the field as far as intermediate as well as some of those vertical throws. And, obviously, offensively, it's going to be some of the short mesh routes as well as some screen routes. But he has the ability to push the football down the field.
74% completion percentage a year ago, 73% this year as Dylan Johnson lines up in the backfield to start things off. They'll run it. Big hole off the right side, and they will push it out to the 44-yard line. A gain of 9 for this run game that certainly has caught some folks by surprise this year.
Well, how many games have you watched and you see Mississippi State, being able to run the football? The ability is definitely there. It's just being committed to doing it throughout a game.
Arkansas has had some trouble stopping the run. They're giving up 142 yards a game, and now some movement by the Hogs. It looked like Isaiah Nichols might have gotten in that neutral zone, and that'll give Mississippi State a first down.
Offside, defense number 33. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Dave, you're less than 30 seconds into this game, and you already have 2 penalties by this Arkansas team.
Just shy of midfield, first down and 10. They'll run it again, right between the tackles, and that'll be a gain of 6, maybe 7. Jaden Johnson comes up to make the play, and boy, this defense is banged up for Arkansas. They're missing 3 starters on that back end. Slusher, who played a little bit last week, not here today, so he's out. Handoff right side. They haven't thrown it yet. Johnson steps up to make the stop on Johnson. Another gain of 7, move the chains.
Maybe you go back and look, it's a light box. I mean, Arkansas only has 5 guys into that box, and so Mississippi State so far, they said that we are going to run the football, and they've been committed to it.
Dylan Johnson, 11th in the conference in rushing. He's 3rd in average yards per carry at over 6. That pass is complete. Goes to Caleb Ducking. That'll be at the 30-yard line, a gain of 8.
Nice job here, Will Rogers being able to get this football to Caleb Ducking on the slant route. Nice, easy throw.
25th catch of the year for Ducking. Only had 9 in 7 games a year ago. They'll stick with the run game. And that'll be another first down. Bumper pull making the hit on Dylan Johnson. Bumper pull, 46 stops, leads this team, give him 47 now. The senior out of Lucas, Texas, he and Drew Sanders, dynamic linebacking core. Rogers. That pass is incomplete, well read on the back end. Nice job by Arkansas. Trying to hit Rufus Harvey with it. Hudson Clark, who can really play anywhere on that back end, making a play for the Hogs.
And you'll see Hudson Clark line up at safety. He'll line up at corner, but the thing for Arkansas here, particularly in this high red zone area, they want to keep everything in front of them, and that's really what you see with those 3 safeties playing at depth as well.
2nd down and 10, 3-man rush. That pass is caught, what a grab. That one goes to Austin Williams. His 10th catch of the year is a dynamic one and a pickup of 19, 1st and goal Bulldogs. Mississippi State has been dynamite in the red zone. 15 of 17, 10 straight touchdowns in the red zone. There are some flags down. That pass is incomplete in the end zone. Trying to hit Ra Thomas.
And if you're Coach Pittman, he's upset about the center maybe moving the football.
Offside, defense, number 99.
Yeah. Boy, Coach Pittman is hot.
Yeah, Coach Pittman, he's upset. He's saying that the center is moving the football, and that's what Bumper Poole was kind of pointing at. And, his defensive linemen, they have to be able to sit in there and not jump off sides. But defensively, they're saying that they're moving the football as far as the center is concerned.
Johnson slides to the right. They'll hand it off, cuts it back, trying to drive the pile, gets it to about the 1 and stop there. This drive started back at the 35-yard line. Bumper Poole plugs the hole along with Terry Hampton.
Dave, and this is where you see Mississippi State use a lot of rub route, pick routes, and even singled up, you have an opportunity for a one-on-one.
Off the right side, big collision at the hole, and Johnson powers his way in for the touchdown. That is Johnson's second rushing touchdown of the year, but an impressive opening drive by Mississippi State. They've now scored a touchdown on 5 of 6 opening drives this year. Ben Rabin with the point after is up and good. And it's 7-0 Mississippi State out in front early first quarter. Well, it's not too often you have a Mississippi State drive that has 6 rushes and only 3 passes, but that was the case, and Johnson ran it 6 times for 30 yards and capped it off with that touchdown.
Well, and that's the patience when you talk about this offense, and then basically them saying, if you're only going to have 5 guys in the box, we're going to be committed to running the football, and that's exactly what they did. And Johnson there at the end, he met Hudson Clark, the safety, right there at the goal line, and he was able to run him over and go in for the touchdown.
So now this Arkansas team about to get the football, as this kick will sail into the end zone and out to the 25-yard line. And our first look at Cade Fortin. And for many people, I know he played some snaps last week, but for many in the SEC, your first look at Cade Fortin, a 5th-year senior out of Swanee, Georgia, just north of Atlanta. Started at North Carolina, then transferred to South Florida. Has been a starter. Started a couple of games in 2018 for North Carolina, so it's not like they're throwing in a guy that's blind to high-level football.
Well, I don't know if he's ready for this atmosphere, though. this atmosphere will be a little bit different for him.
Fort 6'3", 218 pounds. They'll line up in that pistol and throw it. Try to throw it anyway. Tried to hit Trey Knox, the tight end, but he was covered extremely well by Richardson. It'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up.
And from a play design, you probably wanted to go to Jackson that was running that deep corner out. He looked right there, like you said, to Richardson and was not able to complete the pass.
Rocket Sanders off the right side. Rocket, nice game. Out over the 30 to the 32-yard line. They'll give him 7 there. Richardson pushes him out of bounds, but you're looking at the best the SEC has right now in terms of numbers. Leads the conference in rushing, 609 yards for Rocket Sanders. He has been awesome this year. On 3rd down, go to Sanders. Great catch. 1st down over the 35 to the 37-yard line. Well done by Sanders to pick up the 1st down.
David, his ability to be able to make somebody miss here is the reason that they're able to be able to pick up that 1st down.
Fort has time to throw. Overshoots everybody on that far side. Trying to hit Jaden Hazelwood over there. Jackie Matthews out in coverage. This is Arkansas offense averaging 32 points a game. That's 9th in the SEC. 232 on the ground, 226 through the air. But the guy that's been pulling the trigger is a spectator today.
Yeah, and that's KJ Jefferson and his ability to be able to give comfort. That's what you'll ask for him to be able to do today.
Inside handoff to Sanders, no room to run. Cameron Young, the 315-pounder, plugging that hole up, no gain.
And he's trying to run this inside zone, and like you talked about, Cameron Young was having none of that, able to shed the offensive lineman. I think that was Latham that was trying to block him.
3rd down and 9. Bulldogs bringing 4, and they get to Fortin. Tyrus Wheat with the sack.
Dave, you said it. The Bulldogs only brought 4, but it was Tyrus Wheat, his ability to be able to beat that guard off of the edge, and it was really just with speed. And when you look at it, Limerick has to do a better job of being able to square up. They don't bring a ton of pressure. When they do, it's probably in situations like that. Well, let me rephrase that. They don't bring a lot of zero pressure. It looks like it, but that's just a 4-man rush that they're able to sack the quarterback, but it was a 3rd and long situation to begin with.
Max Fletcher to punt it away. It's a short kick, end over end. That will hit and take a favorable Bulldog bounce out to the 44-yard line. So a relatively short field for Mississippi State. A 26-yard punt for Fletcher. Came in averaging 39 per punt. It's only 3 pass attempts on opening drive for Will Rogers. That meant that somebody had to carry it, and it was old 2-3 who did the job.
Yeah, Dylan Johnson does a nice job of being able to get his shoulders square and north. He is a big running back, and so if you are not ready to tackle him, and we know on the goal line right here, they were not, he will have a lot of broken tackles today.
Mississippi State running it 32% of the time. That's the highest percentage for a Mike Leach coach team since he's been here in Starkville. Our first look at DeQuavius Marks. His first carry nets 4 yards. Well, these 2 running backs, you know, you get them going in the ground game. The fact that Marks has a dozen catches, Dylan Johnson with 25 catches, those 2 guys last year were catch machines out of the backfield.
And the ability to be able to run the football just adds another element to this offense.
Again on the ground, Marks makes a man miss, and he'll have a first down at the 44-yard line. Jaden Johnson finally brings him down, but not before a gain of 7.
You talk about making a man miss. That was Drew Sanders that had an opportunity to make that tackle on Marks, and you know Arkansas has to do a better job of open field tackle, but tackling in general.
First down and 10, little toss sweep to Marks. Has some running room. He's to the 35-yard line. That's a gain of 7.
Able to pull your tackle out front and make him be able to lead. Just a nice job outside as well. And you talk about Markapoo and Drew Sanders, they have to be tackling machines. That time, Markapoo went inside, and that really opened up that lane outside for the running back.
Second down and a couple of yards. Rogers to Marks. He'll be close to the line to gain. Bumper Pool gets out there in a hurry and makes another tackle. Bumper Pool had a career-high 20 total tackles against Mississippi State back in 2020.
It's a high standard to be able to go out and play at, and we know he holds himself to that standard. And gonna need a lot of him today.
Third down and less than a yard. On the ground again. Marks hit in the hole and dropped there. Johnson comes up and a flag comes in late. I think he's going to have enough for the first down by maybe a length of the football from our vantage point.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run and includes an automatic first down.
Okay, we'll take another look at it, and it's going to get, call it face mask, and it was actually the back of the helmet is what they get him for, not the front of the helmet. Johnson is, they call it a face mask, but it's actually the back of the helmet on the tackle is what they get Johnson for.
Well, that'll set up Mississippi State again inside the red zone. Well, they've hit on 11 straight possessions for touchdowns. Rogers. Boy, everybody is covered. Great job by that secondary. There was not any room to breathe for any of those Mississippi State wide receivers.
A nice job of that secondary of Arkansas. And, you know, we haven't seen Mississippi State throw the football a lot on first down. It's been mainly runs. And you had 8 in coverage, only 3 rushers. Arkansas able to disrupt that offense enough right there and do a great job of covering on the back end.
Will Rogers has 19 touchdown passes and just 3 interceptions this year. Second down and 10. Marks moves to the right. 3 receivers to the wide side. Quick throw coming back to the near side. Almost picked off. That almost fell right into Nichols' hands. They were trying to hit Robinson with it, and it bounced in the air.
They're going to check to a screen here, and they have the run action in it, but like you talked about, that ball almost bounced up right into Nichols' hands. That was Justin Robinson, the receiver, that should have had that screen as far as the completion was concerned. But Nichols, he's tracking down from his defensive lineman position, almost came up with an interception.
So Marks and Johnson in the backfield now on a 3rd down and 10. Rogers looking over the middle, now comes near side. Catch made by Marks, spins and hit right around the 10-yard line. He needed to get it inside the 9. They're going to spot him out of bounds at the 11, so they're going to be a couple of yards shy. And it'll be 4th down and the offense staying on the field.
When the question becomes, Dave, you know, I don't mind the call. The question becomes, will you be committed to running the football, because you've run it well enough to be able to run and get this first down.
And they will try to run for it. Marks has the first down at the 5. Looks like they're committed.
I think so as well. In this situation, don't overthink it. I mean, if you're going to get that type of look, just 5 in the box, then you have to be willing to run the football. Your offensive line has done a good enough job up front with the movement that Arkansas is giving you that you have run it successfully.
So 1st and goal for the Bulldogs. Here's Marks again. Boy, that hole closed up in a hurry. Cam Ball was the first one there. Then Johnson came in from the back end, and nowhere to run for Woody Marks.
A lot of movement up front as well on that Arkansas defensive front, you know, particularly when you only have 3 guys. You better be stunning or running some twists and some games and some different things. And that time they were successful in slowing down that run game.
So Marks heads to the sideline. Dylan Johnson checks in at running back. They'll stack some receivers to the wide side. Wally and Robinson to the near side, but it's a handoff to Johnson, and he again is met right at the hole. Drew Sanders getting his nose in there.
Really nice job of just being able to hit this play on that by Sanders, as far as reading the offensive lineman and seeing it and being able to hit it. And you talked about just the stunts and the slants and the twists, and you know, those offensive linemen, they have to be able to see it, particularly that movement.
Third and goal. Rogers tiptoeing around. Throws to the corner of the end zone, and that one is caught, almost picked off by Chavez, but it ends up being a touchdown to Jaden Wally.
Dave, we'll take another look at this, and like you talked about, Will Rogers has all day to throw because they're only rushing 3 guys. Earlier in the broadcast, we talked about his precision. That ball was tipped. That ball was tipped. I don't know how Jaden Wally was able to keep his eye on the football and come up with the catch, but great job by Wally, great job by Rogers just buying time for his receiver.
Point after is up and good. Wally with the touchdown reception. 14-0 Bulldogs.
Peter Burns with a studio update for just the 15th time in 100 years of LSU football. There's an 11 a.m. kickoff in Tiger Stadium. The start, not good. Jack Besh lost the opening kickoff just 5 plays later. Tennessee scores. 10-0 Vols early. Dave Deuce, there's a couple of cowbells out there, aren't there?
Thank you, Peter, very much. 14-0 here. Arkansas, boy, they had an opportunity for an interception in that end zone to snuff out that drive, and this is how close it was with Malik Chavis back there, right through his hands.
Hey, that's one that you're going to want back. You know, I mean, it hits him in his hand, and you can see just the focus there by Wally to be able to still bring that football in.
That close. I'll tell you what, Wally, his third touchdown reception of the year for Jade. Here's the kick. It will be through the end zone out to the 25. For more on the Bulldogs, let's go down to Tiffany Blackman.
Hey guys, Will Rogers told me that after the Texas A&M game, he reminded his team that each week is only going to get harder after that. He said, no doubt, it was a huge win, and we're riding that momentum. He said they can use it going into this game because Arkansas is a good team, and that's why we're seeing them get off to such a fast start, guys.
Yeah, Tiffany, now the question is, how can Arkansas respond? They got a new quarterback. They're going to try Malik Hornsby on this drive, the super speedster. There is a flag down. That play stopped before it got started, but
false start, offense.
Man, Arkansas's got to quit shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Dave. I mean, you look at it from the opening kickoff. Kickoff goes out of bounds, and then, you know, one play later, you have you're in the neutral zone, and so offensively, you've been behind the sticks, or at least in the game, just because you're not giving yourself an opportunity.
Well, here is Hornsby. It's been kind of a tough week for him. Really, it's been a tough few months. Put his name in the portal, then kind of withdrew it, came back to the program, and try him out a wide receiver. And this is what he can do, folks. Explosive run for Malik Hornsby, and that great speed as he is popped out of bounds by Forbes, but a huge run for the redshirt sophomore out of Missouri City, Texas, 52 yards.
You're exactly right. His ability, it's elite speed, and once he gets to the edge, you really see him take off.
Hand it off to Sanders off the left side. He'll get a couple of yards. Runner was down, but boy, if Malik Hornsby can give you a few of those, that'll loosen things up for sure.
It'll definitely loosen it up, and I think for them, Arkansas, you have to have the ability to give him some easy throws, but he gives you a lot of what KJ would give, particularly on the edge.
Good block on the edge by Knox, cut back by Sanders inside the 25 down to the 23. That's an area by Trey Knox that he has gotten so much better at as he's put on some weight.
You just see the speed of Sanders just being able to get to the edge. The receivers do a good job of blocking, but the Bulldogs are able to rally to the football and make the tackle short of the first down.
Kendall Briles' offense looking at a 3rd down and 4. Hornsby tucks it and runs. He'll have a first down around the 17. A big collision as he met a couple of Bulldogs. Jalen Green, the first one there. Flags come out, and that'll be a gain of 6.
Yeah, you got late flags in that situation from the deep umpire. You know, it's a quarterback draw. The question is going to obviously be, is it an unnecessary roughness or targeting?
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 19. The previous plays under video review.
That's it. Dave, we're going to take another look at it. Man, this is a tough call. I mean, because the runner, he is going down. Hornsby, he is going down himself, and I don't know from a defensive standpoint. I don't see it.
Yeah, you know, first of all, he's not a defenseless player. I don't know that there was contact with the crown of the helmet. They both whiffed. I think this will be overturned. They both kind of whiffed.
And if it's anybody, it's Duncan who they're looking at. But I mean, because the runner, like you talked about, Hornsby goes down himself. Both of them, they miss it.
Yeah.
They miss him as far as from a helmet-to-helmet contact. I mean, there's action with the hand, but I mean, I don't think this is a target. Jalen Green and Colin Duncan. Hard for me to see a targeting call right there. One of the things it does for this Arkansas offense, though, it gives them a chance to kind of regroup and say, hey, look, we see we can move the football. We just have to quit hurting ourselves with penalties, et cetera.
The result of play is the first down.
So the call is reversed, and that will keep Duncan on the field. And after that collision, Hornsby, though, he got up and looked like he was kind of favoring a shoulder as he walked to that sideline. So now Cade Fortin is back in the game. Hornsby did pick up that first down, so a fresh set here just outside the 15. They'll run it left side with Rocket Sanders. He's tripped up as he gets it to the 14, so a gain of 2.5, maybe 3. Manuel Forbes coming up to make that tackle.
You know, if you're Coach Arnett, I think this is where you pick up the pressure at least to get Fournette. Fournette is not the runner that obviously Hornsby is.
Sanders breaking some tackles. He'll be close to the first down. They'll spot him back at the 8-yard line. That's a gain of 6, so he'll be just shy by about 1.5 yards. Nathan Pickering with the stop. And the Hogs going to have to injured player timeout, or they take a timeout?
Injured player, you've got Emmanuel Forbes right now who was in on that tackle. He was slow to get up, and it'll be a big loss for Mississippi State if he's not able to go. He tried to stand up, but he just took a knee after that. Take another look at it here with Sanders being on the outside. Or really away from the football, not involved in that action, so it had to be the play before that he kind of got banged up himself.
3rd down and 1. Little play fake, Fortin to throw toward the end zone, incomplete. He led Hazelwood by about a foot, and Hazelwood couldn't catch up to it.
And I think the reason you call that play is because you know you're going for it on 4th down. I think that's the only thing. You want to kind of surprise them. And we'll take another look at it here. You want to kind of surprise them, but nice job of selling it. But Mississippi State was not fooled defensively whatsoever. Richardson does a nice job of being able to stay just with that corner route.
Still Arkansas going to go for it on 4th down. They're 5 of 8 this year on 4th down conversions. Quick inside handoff. I don't know if they got it. They went with Sanders. I think he got stopped shy of it. Tyrus Wheat was the first one there for Mississippi State. Boy, the Bulldogs are rolling here in the first quarter. Snuffing out an Arkansas drive. Back in a moment. Well, they are taking another look at the spot after this Sanders run on 4th down. Boy, it's just hard to really see him. This is a better look to see where he was actually stopped and where the football was.
He doesn't get it.
And yeah, I think he's a yard shy based on that look. But they did spend some time reviewing that.
Yeah, I mean, for Sanders, he tried to go across it, and he's got to be able to see it and cut it back. I mean, just too much flow going left, and that allows that defense to be able to rally to the football.
Dylan Johnson in the backfield on a 1st down and 10. Ball sits at the 8-yard line. Austin Williams comes in motion to the slot, looking that way, and they will throw it to him. He will have a 1st down near the 20-yard line. Boy, he is just he really is a catch machine. You put it in his area, he's wrapping it up.
Yeah, he's definitely going to catch it, but that's a nice job of just understanding the soft spot in that zone by Austin and just being able to make himself available for Will Rogers, the quarterback.
Little underhand shovel pass. Johnson across midfield all the way into Arkansas territory at the 43-yard line. Simeon Blair chases him down, a 37-yard gain.
Just a fantastic play, and if you're the running back, You want the rush yardage for this play. This is actually a pass, and you talked about it. Just a little flip pass. Nice job by that offensive line being able to get out front and pick up some key blocks as well.
And that'll go as a completion, and you're looking at the new SEC all-time completions record holder in Will Rogers. He just surpassed Aaron Murray for #1 on the list in about half the games. Look at the games played. 922 passes completed in 28 games.
That is fantastic. And you talk about a young man that, he's still a junior in college, and 28 total games being able to pass Aaron Murray to take as far as most completions in the SEC.
I worked with Aaron last week. He was trying to push Will Rogers out to the NFL early so he could hold on to that record. Not anymore. Nothing you can do about it now, Aaron.
Not at all.
Underneath route. That one is caught by Ducking. He'll make the reception at the 35, gain of 4.
Great job by this offensive line being able to give Will Rogers the time to look down the field, not liking what he sees, just hits the crossing route to Ducking there. If you're going to slow this offense down, obviously you have to be able to be great tacklers in the open field, but I think the other part of it has to be winning one-on-one up front.
That's the end of the first quarter.
That'll do it for the first quarter. Other than a really nice run by Malik Hornsby, it was all Mississippi State. 14-0. Back in a moment.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem.
Boy, the folks were out in full force before the game today. Malik Hornsby was in full force until he got banged up on a run, left the game. Anxious to see if we'll get him back on the field. He had a nice 50-plus yard run in his short stint as 3rd down and 3. Bulldogs running it. For more on Malik, let's go down to Tiffany.
Hey guys, I'm looking at Malik now. He's walking around on the sideline. He did have his helmet for a second, but before all that, the training staff, the athletic training staff for Arkansas was evaluating him, making him run cuts, as well as throwing the football. So we'll see if he gets back into this game, guys.
Thanks, Tiff. Right now, the defense trying to get the football back for that offense. It's 4th down and a couple of yards. Rogers coming left, has marks. There's a 1st down and a bunch more. He's to the 20 and knocked out of bounds. And there's going to be a blindside block coming in, I believe, against Mississippi State.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's going to be on Caleb Ducking. It should be after the 1st down was picked up, and nice job by Will Rogers seeing coverage, checking that football down, and that's exactly what that block is going to be, Dave.
Boy, you can kind of see that one coming a mile away, the way it just set up.
Yep. He had picked up the 1st down, but it was really after the play.
Onside block, offense, number 4. The penalty is 15 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 4th down.
Well, they're going to make them replay the 4th down. And I mean, he is clearly past it. I want to make sure that I understand that correctly, because he had enough for the 1st down. Is he going to? Yeah, I think that's what they're saying. They've got to replay 4th down.
I think Mike Leach was asking the same question, so they're going to.
I mean, you have to punt the football now. I mean, you had picked up the 1st. So
they're trying to reset the chains over there on the far side of the field. And well, there's confusion over there on the Arkansas side.
Well, Arkansas is like, wait, what do you mean? You're gonna? That won't be a 1st down? I mean, because clearly he had picked up the yardage to get the 1st down. I thought that the ruling, I thought it would have been, hey, look, you have the 1st down, but we're going to move you back 15 yards, but that is not the case. So we can see Will Rogers, he goes and that's enough for the 1st down, and Ducking basically blocks a guy that's not involved in that play, can't make that tackle, and so Mississippi State will have to go for it again and try to pick up another 1st down.
So it'll be 4th down and 5 after all that. It was 4th and 2 and they converted. Now Will Rogers looking for the football.
Delay a game.
Yeah, couldn't get to play it. He was looking to the sideline, and there was some confusion.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Yeah, delay a game, and I don't know if he liked the play or he wanted to be able to change the play. At first, they held them out there, and you talk about the confusion on the Arkansas sideline, and you know you're trying to get the change and everything right. And now, from picking up the 1st down to having to send your punt team out on the field. And you can see Will Rogers just looking to the sideline, sure that he has the right play, and that play clock is going down, and his center just doesn't snap the football, and he just waits and just doesn't try to force it.
So now the Bulldogs eventually decide to punt it. Stevens, end over end kick. And down there by the Bulldogs. That'll be inside the 1-yard line. Jaden Wally. Heck of a play by the special teams of Mississippi State.
Well, early, Arkansas had an opportunity to punt the football, and here we'll take another look at it. Jaden Wally, I know they're talking, but he has complete control of this football. The only thing that you can kind of question was his heels on the line, and I think that he had possession and control. They should spot this ball right where it's at, and I think that they make
Arkansas.
Yeah, it's Arkansas ball, but you're talking about inside the 1-yard line. Outstanding job there by Jaden Wally. Part of that is because he took the football into the end zone. They want to talk about it, but he had possession of it, and that's normally where it stops. The play is kind of over. So for 2 young quarterbacks, you're looking at going 99.5 yards for a possible score.
Well, let's see who they run out there. They're going to go with Cade Fortin, a walk-on transfer. Has a couple of years of eligibility left. He stands in the end zone in the shotgun formation. A.J. Green in the backfield. They'll run A.J. Finds a little bit of a hole and gets him out of the shadows of the goalpost. He's out over the 5 to the 6-yard line. Give him 5 yards on the carry, brought down by Cameron Young. Arkansas wasting no time. Another handoff to A.J. He's close to the 1st down, maybe a half-yard shy where they're going to spot this. Should be just over the 10-yard line, or actually right at the 10. So 3rd and a half a yard.
Mississippi State has to hurry up and get lined up. They weren't ready that last play.
They'll run it again. Nowhere. They lose a yard. Big hit by J.P. Purvis. Now you got to punt it.
Yeah, it's outstanding. J.P. Purvis, he is reading the running back the whole way. I mean, he's not worried about the threat of the quarterback run, and he releases, and that is an outstanding open field tackle by J.P. Purvis.
Reed Bauer will punt it away. Thomas back at midfield to return the punt for Mississippi State. The true freshman out of Louisiana. Line drive kick. That'll be caught at the 48. Thomas to the 40. A short field coming up for Mississippi State. They lead by a couple of touchdowns. Making some noise here at Davis-Wade Stadium.
Peter Burns with a studio update. Brady Cook finds Jaden Hill for the successful touchdown pass, but the bad part about it is he plays for the Florida Gators. 10-0 homecoming down in the swamp. And how about this? After LSU stuffed on a 4th down, Hendon Hooker to Jalen Hyatt. That's a pretty deep ball. 20-0 all Vols, guys.
Thanks, PB. I think Hendon Hooker's a pretty good player.
Yeah, I think so.
On 1st down, a little pitch to Marks. They'll pick up 6. There's Bumper Pool. He has been a tackle machine today. Already 8 stops for their linebacker. Boy, he and the combination of Drew Sanders, they are just machines when it comes to bringing the ball carrier down. Rodgers. Pass is caught by Robinson. That'll be a first down around the 24-yard line. That's 16 more yards. Will Rogers, after starting 3 of 6, he's hit 7 in a row.
And if you're Arkansas defensively, I understand you have some guys on the back end that are hurt. But, I mean, at some point you have to try to say, hey, look, we've got to get after the quarterback. And, you know, you're second in the nation in sacks, and right now you're not getting any pressure on Will Rogers.
Rogers scampers to the right, just throws it underneath. Yeah, you know, obviously Bishop is out, Catalan is out, and now Slusher, who's been bothered by a bad calf, tried to go last week, just wasn't 100%. He didn't show up on the trip. I mean, you're missing 3 really big key components in the secondary against this offense.
Makes it tough. I mean, because what you can do on the back end definitely changes, and you're playing a lot of young men that maybe have not played a lot, but at some point I've got to feel like I've got to get after the quarterback. I mean, the only way that you can really slow this offense down is with pressure, winning some one-on-ones, and being able to rally to the football.
There's Dylan Johnson. He'll get it down to the 16-yard line.
Mississippi State, they're just moving people. I mean, you have a lot of twists, a lot of stunts up front with that 3-man rush, but Mississippi State is able to pick it up for the most part, and they have been committed to running the football, and they've put themselves in favorable positions.
Third down. Another 3-man rush. He'll drop 8 over the middle. That one almost picked off. Simeon Blair steps in front of that pass that was intended for Calvin.
We've seen them have some opportunities to be able to come up with some interceptions, and very rarely has Arkansas been able to cash in on it. We saw Chavis have an opportunity early on, and that time Simeon Blair lay out for the possible interception, but doesn't come up with the play.
Price and Marks in the backfield with Will Rogers on a 4th down and 3. That's going to be close. That is right on the line to gain. Marks on that carry, brought down by Jackson.
And I think where they're marking that, I think he's probably got enough.
And there it is, first down.
And you can just look at it. Nice job. They're probably going to try to take a look at this play and see it from measurement-wise. But, I mean, I think that he's got enough for that first down. Nice job just up front and being able to create a lane for him. Price does a nice job on the edge as well.
Well, they're going to check the spot on this football to see if it truly was a first down.
We take another look at it as well. Landon Jackson comes in and tries to tackle Marks up high. That allows him just to be able to slow him down a little bit, but I think that his forward progress is going to be enough, unless they just can see something that maybe we can't see.
Yeah, I think he's got it. The line is on the 13, and it looks like he fell just inside the 13. So I think that's going to be a first down.
After video review, the ruling on the field stands, first down, Mississippi State.
So a fresh set of downs for Will Rogers and company.
It was because of penalty, the last drive that they ended up after getting the first down because of a penalty that backed them up, and this time they're able to cash in on it. And so Coach Leach not afraid to obviously go for it, particularly in those favorable positions of 4th and short.
Will Rogers 11 of 16, 125 yards and a touchdown. Hand it off to Marks, stays between the guards. We'll get it to the 10-yard line, pick up 2.5, 3 yards. Isaiah Nichols making the stop for the Hogs.
Arkansas being able to walk that safety down just because you don't have the full field to be able to work with, and that helps them a little bit as far as being able to slow and stop that run game, and that's really why Marks had to stay inside, because of the free hanging guy on the outside.
200 total yards for Mississippi State. Arkansas with just 86. On second down, pressure comes. They try to dump it off underneath, and Rogers bats it down. Isaiah Nichols is the one who got his hands up in the air. That could have been dangerous.
Mississippi State setting up a screen here, and Isaiah Nichols, we talked about the twist and the stunts, and does a nice job of being able to get his hands up in the air. And as a defender, you see that ball up, Will Rogers does the right thing. You don't try to catch it, you just bat it down, and now it goes back to the original line of scrimmage. If he had caught it, then he'd been down obviously at that position, but Mississippi State trying to set up a screen, and Nichols was able to get his hands up.
Three-man rush this time. Rogers stands, looks, throws, caught! Austin Williams, he does it again! My goodness! What a catch by Williams. The throw is probably just as good. A 10-yard strike for the Bulldogs.
Well, Dave, it really starts with his offensive line and their ability to be able to pick up the twist, the stunts. And, I mean, Rogers is just looking. He is looking for any small amount of separation, and there Austin Williams gives him that separation. And I think they may want to take another look at this play to see if it was actually a touchdown. I think that it has been confirmed. The officials just stopped the kick in the middle of it. But just a nice job up front. You're only rushing 3. The defenders are late to release, and Mississippi State makes them pay again.
That is now 21 touchdown passes for Will Rogers this year. That is through the uprights. It is 21-0. Austin Williams, the graduate, with his 3rd touchdown catch of the year. Boy, what a grab. What a shot. Bulldogs up 21.
SEC Network Football, presented by Allstate, is brought to you by Duke's Mayo, the only condiment with twang.
Well, Mississippi State leads it 21-0. A couple of touchdown passes for Will Rogers today. Austin Williams caught that one. Rogers now with 68 career touchdown passes. He is 2 away from tying the Mississippi State record held by the great Dak Prescott, who had 70 over that little run he had from 2012 to 2015. Matter of fact, it was that 14 team that was so good, got up to #1 for about a month. They started 5-0 that year. It's the best start this year since that 14 team. .903 to go. Second quarter. That'll head into the end zone. For more, let's go down to Tiffany.
Guys, Will Rogers told me that Dallas Cowboys quarterback and former Bulldog Dak Prescott has reached out to him on a couple occasions this season, in particular after the LSU game, about how to bounce back. Will said it means the world to him that the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys and a Mississippi State legend reached out to him, that he has his back and understands what he's going through and still cares about this team a whole lot, guys.
Oh yeah, you can see that when Dak has an opportunity, he's always wearing his Bulldog gear.
All the time. He's going to support not only football, but the women's basketball team as well.
Here's a handoff to Sanders. So Deuce, here you go. You're down 21. Your starting quarterback, KJ Jefferson, is here. He's dressed out, but Doesn't look like we're going to see him at all today. How do you try to just, I don't know, whether it's confidence or just something positive to happen?
Well, I think just having Hornsby definitely helps. I mean, because he can give you a spark in the run game that they really hadn't been able to have. I mean, he had those 2 big runs there, and they got into the red zone, and that has helped him. And I think that's really, from the offensive standpoint, just having him available. I mean, offensively, you've got to help that defense out a little bit.
KJ was warming up, slinging the ball around in warm-ups. But it looks like we're going to see Fortin and Hornsby the rest of this afternoon on a first down carry by Sanders. He'll get a couple of yards there.
And trust me, Dave, it is tearing KJ up. He's a Mississippi kid. So a lot of these players from Mississippi State, he knows them, played against them in high school, so it is tearing him up not being able to play.
Led the team in passing and rushing a year ago. Big hole off the left side for Sanders. Drives his way to the first down line. That should be good enough to move the chains. And it is.
We'll take another look at it. Nice job, Luke Jones, your left tackle, being able just to be able to seal that hole off, and Arkansas running some different guys in there, trying to get Rocket Sanders a break, and Mississippi State comes in with some additional subs as well. And this is what Arkansas has to be able to do as far as just to be able to compete, keep themselves somewhat in this game.
On first down at 10, 3-man rush. Hornsby to throw. As a man pass is caught. Jackson making the nice catch. Well, that ball got there in a hurry.
Definitely got there in a hurry, and it looked like they caught Mississippi State kind of in a cover 2 look, and I don't know if the safety got over enough as far as over the top. And nice job of just fitting it right there in the hole on that throw.
First completion of the year for Malik Hornsby. Now they'll run it with A.J. Green. A sophomore out of Tulsa came in with 117 yards on the ground.
So Mississippi State, that hole closes very, very fast for them defensively.
Run again with Green. Nowhere. Jet Johnson steps up. The graduate out of Tupelo making the stop.
Mississippi State comes with a corner crash right there in the boundary, so you've got a lot of movement. Here is where they want to be able to affect the quarterback the most. You know, if I'm Arkansas, I'm looking some type of screen or getting my quarterback out on the edge. Now you have a false start by your left guard.
Brady Latham.
False start, offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Latham has played a lot of football. This is his 29th consecutive start, which leads this team just a little antsy.
A little antsy there. Arkansas changes quarterbacks just because of the third and long situation. You want to make sure that you have somebody that can see those blitzes, see that pressure, and get you in the right play or to make the right throw.
Kendall Briles telling us this week they just need to clean up some things on offense, things like that. Well, it didn't look like Jackson was ready for the pass. It just bounced off his hand right as Cade Fortin got hit.
And that's a stunt up front. You know, you talk about your quarterback is, you can see him sitting in the pocket. He's going to get hit. And Jackson, I don't know if he was expecting the football, looking at the quarterback saying that I was going to sit down, didn't understand whether it was man or zone. Quarterback, I mean, the ball hit him in his hand. You got to help your quarterback out a little bit there, and end up not doing so.
A 51-yard field goal attempt. Here is Cam Little. His long this year is 34. Had a career-long 51 against Mississippi State last year in Fayetteville. This one is good. So another 51-yarder for Cam Little, the sophomore, who is now 5 out of 7 in the field goal department. Arkansas is on the board. 5:56 to go before halftime. Look at Davis Wade Stadium on an absolutely picture-perfect day in Starkville. Hey, don't forget, should be a pretty nice day in Nashville as well. Number 9 Ole Miss squares off against Vanderbilt, 4 o'clock Eastern time. And then at 7:30, SEC Saturday Night will feature Will Levis, maybe Will Levis, and number 13 Kentucky as they host South Carolina. We'll see. Tom, Jordan, Cole will be on that one. Both games available, of course, on the ESPN app as well. Yeah, I said cool instead of Cole because Cole's so cool. That's why.
He's so cool.
Yeah. Let's go downstairs to Tiffany.
Hey guys, you were talking about it earlier, KJ Jefferson, how tough it must be to not play in this game, but he is still cheering on his teammates. We saw him greeting Massimo Biscardi, the kicker, after that field goal, and I even watched him pull aside Malik Hornsby after that drive, just coaching him up, letting him know what he could do better and working on some of those mistakes and issues on that drive. So he's staying active and a big part of this team. It's really special for him to be here for these guys.
Well, there was something to celebrate. See if there's some momentum in that. It was a nice drive, got snuffed out late, but still their best drive of the afternoon. Here's a toss sweep. That'll go to Marks. Hudson Clark makes the tackle. But again, another good gain on first down of 5 yards. I mean, if they're going to give you 5 every time, why not? I mean, you better not stop running.
You got to take it. I mean, if it's there, you got to take it. And right now, you know, Arkansas has chose to go with movement instead of adding that other as far as drop player. And here you see they're just in coverage.
They'll swing it out to Marks. He'll make the catch. Maybe a couple of yards shy of the first down. Boy, it's just a tough day for a D lineman, right? 3-man rush against 5-man offensive line. It's going to be hard to get any space, any room to do any work.
Definitely agree with you. And, you know, normally you got to say, hey, look, you've got to win, have someone elite on the outside that can win some one-on-ones. But it's normally just going to be situations where it's going to be double teams or chip.
Third down. See if Arkansas can get a stop here. Mississippi State 3 of 6 on third downs. And I think the Hogs are going to be forcing a fourth down here as Drew Sanders came up to make his 7th tackle shy of the line to gain at the 35.
And we've seen Arkansas have some success with some of those run blitz and some of those stunts and twists. And for the most part, Mississippi State has been able to pick it up. But there, Drew Sanders is able to break free and make that tackle for a loss. And now you see Mississippi State run another running back, 2 tailbacks into the game.
Bulldogs 2 of 2 today on fourth down. They're 8 of 11 this season. 4th and less than a yard. Hand off to Marks. Just lowers his head, bulldozes his way out over the 35. They will spot him at the 38-yard line.
David, like you said, this is just hard-nosed football. He's hitting it right there off of the center as far as the A-gap. Arkansas actually walked down and was covering it from a man-to-man perspective, but too much movement up front by that Mississippi State offensive line.
Bulldogs up over 80 yards rushing today. Will Rogers throws it. Pass caught by Rufus Harvey. He's close to the first down.
And if you're Mississippi State, Harvey matched up against Bumper Pool. That's a matchup he's going to win every time. I mean, just too much quickness. He's too explosive in that situation. And, I mean, you're asking your linebacker to cover a slot receiver. That's just tough.
Marks over there, a little banged up, it looks like, trying to catch his breath. Trainer's standing by just in case. Here's Dylan Johnson. Nice combination in the backfield for the Bulldogs with those two. Drew Sanders, tackle number 8.
Arkansas defensively hadn't done a great job on first down against the run. That time they do. They only give up 2 yards instead of the 5 that they had been giving up on first down.
Little shovel pass to Johnson. Well, that's a nice little design. Looking right like you're going to throw the wide out and just pitch it to the left, and Dylan Johnson picks up 11.
take another look at it. Third time they've been able to run it, and if you're the defensive end, you've got to feel that. I mean, because you haven't gotten a lot of pressure. The tackle traditionally has not let you get up the field like that. You've got to be able to feel it, that they're just running almost like a screen, but it's just an inside pitch to the running back.
Three-man rush. That pass is caught by Scooby Ford, and he'll be pushed out of bounds inside the 30, down around the 28-yard line. Jaden Johnson back there in coverage for Arkansas.
Taking that crossing route. You got the linebackers trying to cover those guys, and my safety, he has to be a sure tackler in the open field. Not doing it right there allows Mississippi State to get in a second and short situation.
Rogers. That ball almost picked off. A diving effort coming from Hudson Clark. Boy, the Hogs they've had a couple of opportunities
Third
today.
time. Yeah, third time, and you've got an Arkansas player, a defensive back hurt, and Jaden Johnson that's hurt right now down on the field, but he's there. And I don't know if it's just a receiver that disrupts him, but that's the third time that they've had their hands on the football and not able to come up with the interception.
So while they attend to the injured player, we'll step aside as well. 1:37 to go. Back in a moment.
Y'all coming up on the Farm Ridge halftime report. We'll show you how the ball's cruising in Baton Rouge. Also a good game down in Gainesville. Skill, you got fired up here watching this game between Arkansas and State. Why are you so fired up?
Secondary play is bad, it's consistent, but defensive line, how are you going to allow Will Rogers to just have so much time with the three-man rush?
Well, Takeo, you and Deuce are on the same page on that one.
You just can't do it. I mean, you've got to mix it up a little bit.
Third down and short. Rogers to the end zone, and there was some tugging and jersey pulling there, but no flags, not enough to warrant a flag. Ra Thomas, the intended target. McLaughlin back there in coverage.
David, we'll take another look at it. This is one of the only times that they have gone just pure man-to-man across the board, and like you said, you see just a hand by McLaughlin, a little bit on the shoulder, but not enough for a flag.
Fourth down and short. 3 for 3 today in these situations. Here comes some pressure. Quick throw, and that'll one hop and be incomplete, and the Arkansas Razorbacks will get a stop. Rufus Harvey was the intended receiver to throw a little bit low, and they brought some pressure.
You brought pressure! I don't know if, this probably should have been a catchable pass. Will kind of short hopped it a little bit there with that throw, but you brought pressure. It's almost like, hey, look, I have to help my defense out a little bit. I understand and know that you're without 3 normal starters defensively, but Will Rogers, he is just comfortable. In that throw, he kind of short hopped it, and it was 4th and short. Arkansas gives himself a chance here before the half.
Yeah, they got a minute 27. They got all 3 timeouts remaining. Hornsby back in at quarterback. They have been rotating with Fortin and Hornsby all afternoon. Nice throw, wide open. Pass is caught by Hazelwood. Cuts it back. It's a sprint to the end zone. And he is out of bounds inside the 5 at the 3. That is exactly what Arkansas needed. 68 yards, it's 1st and goal.
David, I was wondering, would he see it? I mean, because he was wide open for a minute. Mississippi State busted the coverage. They dropped the coverage there. I don't know if that was Richardson that should have had him, but they dropped the coverage, and now they will try to go fast. They're being held up by the official as they run another player onto the field. But Mississippi State just completely dropped the coverage in that situation.
1st and goal. Hand it off. Sanders, touchdown, Arkansas. Rocket Sanders scoots it in from the 3-yard line for his 5th rushing touchdown of the year. And now the Hogs have scored 10 straight. Welcome back.
definitely something that they needed from an offensive standpoint. And I think when you look at it, Hornsby just gives them more of what KJ Jefferson would do from the quarterback position, just because his ability to run the football just gives them that extra offensively.
Cam Little's point after is up and good. It's now a 21-10 game, 1:11 on the clock. That might have been too quick. Now you give Mississippi State an opportunity.
We'll take another look at it here. You're either looking at, from a Richardson standpoint, I don't know if he had the flat or the slot was supposed to go with the number 2 receiver, but definitely a bust. And now just here looking at our end zone cam going out of bounds and come back with the offensive line. Rocket Sanders, he's just reading it and does a good job of being able to find that soft spot defensively. But Dave, I agree with you. With a minute and 11 against this offense, how you've played, yeah, that's probably too much time. I mean, you can't tell them not to score in that situation when you haven't scored a touchdown, but that's an eternity for this Mississippi State offense.
Well, Malik Hornsby, 2 of 2 for 89 yards. He's rushed it twice for 57 yards. Of course, he had that 52-yarder. And then a play later, got banged up, missed a series and a half, but now he's back on the field, rotating with Cade Fortin. And it's 10 straight points now for Arkansas. And Mississippi State will have 3 timeouts remaining as well. Hogs now with 204 yards of offense. Mississippi State at 254. It's been a grinded out offense for Mississippi State, and it's been the big plays for Arkansas.
Something that probably flips when you look at it coming into this game. That's not how you probably had it drawn up.
This is a returnable kick. Some running room. Out to the 30-yard line. That was a nice return by Griffin. Boy, he's electric when he has the football in his hands. A career average of over 33 yards per kickoff return. All right, well, let's see what Mississippi State does with Will Rogers.
Now here, I'm okay with Arkansas, particularly for the first couple of plays, playing that coverage defense as far as only rushing 3. But at some point, you probably have to bring a couple guys just to make Will Rogers feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Rogers out to midfield. Pass caught there by Wally. That's a gain of 21. An official time.
Yeah, Wally's helmet came off. So he kind of took it off, so he has to come out of the game. And the question becomes, do they force Mississippi State to take a timeout, and they do not?
Running, 50 seconds. Little shovel pass inside. Now we'll go to Marks around the 43-yard line. And a timeout taken.
Mississippi State has called their first timeout of the half. It's 30 seconds in length.
And if you're Arkansas, you just don't want to give up the deep pass. You don't want to give up the deep pass where they can take a couple of shots in that red zone, high red zone area. You want to keep everything in front of you, be able to rally to the football. Mississippi State, you just want to do exactly what you've been able to do. Give my quarterback time, let him be able to assess the field, push the football down the field when the opportunity is there. You know, get into my screen game, be able to run some of those crossing routes. That's what you want to do if you're the Mississippi State offense, because you do have 2 timeouts.
Don't forget, over on ESPN Plus, you can watch Mississippi State's The Famous Maroon Band. That'll start streaming now if you want, but in just about 42 seconds till halftime before they get on the field. Going up top. That one is batted away. And a flag comes in, and Arkansas's bench erupts. Dwight McGlothern in coverage back there on Tulu Griffin. Sam Pittman, can't believe it. I kind of agree with Sam Pittman here.
Pass interference. Defense, number 3.
He's early.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
You can't see it. He's just a tad bit early, knocking down Tula Griffin on that route. But I mean, it's a really good play. But he's early. It's a tough one.
It'd be hard to convince that man.
Well, no, he's not going to agree with you at all. Not going to agree with you at all.
Oh, Marks, normally sure-handed out there, just botched that one, tried to run with it before he had it, and that'll stop the clock at 29 seconds.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dave. He's got to look that in and turned his eyes up the field to be able to pick up that first down. First quarterback, he just has to look it in.
Three-man rush. Underneath to Marks, catches that one around the 23-yard line. Poole and Sanders combined for the tackle, a gain of 6. Timeout taken by Mississippi State. That's the 12th tackle in the first half for Drew Sanders.
Mississippi State, second of the
Bumper
half.
Poole has 11. Bumpers, by the way, chasing down the all-time tackle leader, Tony Bua for Arkansas. Needs 3 more to tie Tony. 4 to become the new leader. Back for more football in just 10 seconds. Good times here at Davis Wade Stadium on a gorgeous day. Third down coming up. 3rd and 3 for the Bulldogs. Rogers pump fakes, dumps it off underneath, and another one that's almost picked off. Drew Sanders was standing right there, and it hit him in the chest, I believe, and bounced away from him.
Yeah, Drew Sanders, he sees it. He's watching the quarterback's eyes, and Marks kind of stops. His quarterback led him a little bit, and that is the 4th time an Arkansas defender has got his hands on the football and has not come up with a turnover or interception.
Another 4th down opportunity here for the Bulldogs. They're 3 for 4 this afternoon, 9 of 13 on the year.
I think Mississippi State is going to call timeout here.
Mississippi State has called their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
I mean, do you even think about kicking it? I mean, there's 17 seconds left.
Me? Yes. But we're talking about Coach Mike Leach, and so they're going to have to convince him. They're going to have to convince him on the sideline. Hey, look, Coach, if we take the points, it would help us going into the half because they do get Arkansas, they do get the football back. They get it first, opening up the 3rd quarter, and that looks like what they're going to do. So you would think that they would, but we're talking about Coach Leach.
Hey, tonight, wrap up Week 6 with SEC football final. Dari, Chris, Benjamin, Takeo will take you through the biggest stories of the day and break down all the games. 10:30 Eastern Time, right after South Carolina, Kentucky, here on the SEC Network and, of course, on the ESPN app. So they will send out the field goal unit, a 40-yarder on the way. And a timeout taken by Arkansas.
Arkansas has called timeout. It's 30 seconds in length, their first of the half.
You can talk about the struggles as far as Mississippi State. A lot recently, they've been better in the kicking game, but Coach Leach at times he'll have just an open tryout as far as my kickers are concerned, but shows you that his staff believing in that kicking game.
Well, Will Rogers would like one more shot at it, but instead he'll watch his field goal kicker Ben Rabin take over. in the first half, 19 of 30 for 200 yards. What do you make of his performance so far?
Well, I really like his opportunity to, from a progression standpoint. We talked about early on the placement, the ball placement. You look at some of the throws to Austin Williams and just understanding and knowing where he wants to go with the football. A good rapport with his receivers as well.
All right, so a 40-yard field goal coming up right here for Raven. Here's the snap. And the kick is on the way, and it doinks off the upright. And that is why Mike Leach goes forward on 4th down.
I would agree with you, but I mean that's one that's.
You gotta expect you're gonna make that.
Yeah, you gotta expect you're gonna make it. You know, it's the 45 to 50 that you're probably gambling a little bit, and we take another look at it. Pushes it and hits the upright, and you can hear it just from the crowd standpoint. They're hoping. The crowd is hoping, but not so much there.
Well, I will say this: the end of the second quarter, Arkansas has gained some momentum. That is for sure. They were down 21 to nothing. Didn't look like they were going to be able to stop Mississippi State at all. They end up getting a 4th down stop, kick a field goal from 51 yards from Cam Little, and then incomplete pass on the far side, but then had the big play, set him up for 1st and goal.
Sanders an incomplete pass,
takes
down.
it in for the touchdown. So 10 straight points now for Arkansas.
David, I'm really surprised by that call. You know, if you're Arkansas, you just want to get into the half. If you're going to throw it, then throw it down the field completely. I'm not throwing a hitch route right there. That ball gets tipped and Mississippi State picks it up and goes in for a score.
Yeah, I just try to get this thing into the locker room. I got some momentum on my side. Guys starting to feel a little good about themselves. Let's get in the locker room and get the football back to start the 3rd quarter.
And there's 1 second. Hornsby stepped out of bounds with 1 second on the clock. And you know, like I said, if I'm doing anything, I'm taking a shot down the field, not any type of short pass or the run, quarterback run. I'm fine with it. Even Rocket Sanders, I'm fine with him running the football.
They're going to throw it to Rocket near side. They're going to run their offense no matter how much time is out. There's the flag down, and maybe there is an opportunity here. Sanders to midfield, and he'll get out of bounds there, but there is a flag. Holding against Arkansas. That'll be declined, so that will do it for the first half.
The penalty is declined. That's the end of the first half.
So something to build on for Arkansas. But Mississippi State, boy, they jumped out, looked ready to play today. The last time that they were ranked back in 2020, they were in the top 25 and got beat by Arkansas. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Leach, you guys end that half with that missed field goal. Your offense was off to that quick start earlier. What do you have to do to get back to that?
No, we need to make the field goal and just execute plays.
Defensively, what do you have to do to get back on track? Arkansas has 10 straight points.
We just got to stop them.
Thanks, Coach. Guys.
Enlightening. There you go. Just got to stop them. Well, they're not going to stop our studio crew, that's for sure. Let's get you there, PB. Been an absolutely gorgeous day here in Starkville. 21-10, our tally between these two SEC Western Division foes. All Mississippi State early. Arkansas with some momentum late in that second quarter to put together 10 straight points, and that is where we stand here with 3rd quarter football coming up in a matter of moments. Arkansas will get the football to start things off. Dave Neal back alongside my partner Deuce McAllister. And Deuce, obviously, the Bulldogs did everything exactly right for the first 20, 22 minutes of this game. What did you like about the way they started this one?
Well, I really liked how you were able to get your run game involved. Yeah. I mean, when you look at it in the first quarter, it was the run game that, really got them going. And then we know how special Will Rogers is as a player, and his ability to be able to place the football right where his receiver can catch it, I thought was the difference in that first half.
Yeah, Rogers sets the SEC's all-time career completions record today. In that first half, he goes 19 of 30 for 200 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Meanwhile, of course, no KJ Jefferson. He's in uniform but not playing, so they turn to Fortin and Hornsby. And Hornsby, on his first carry, turns the corner and goes 52 yards. He added a spark to them offensively.
Well, he definitely added a spark to him, and his ability to be able to run the football. We saw, just a quarterback draw right there. Got a little banged up there. I mean, but if he can stay healthy, we see him going into the 10. If he can stay healthy, he can be a difference maker for that offense.
We are ready for some football as the Hogs botch this one, and it goes into the end zone. It's a live football. Green just does get out of the end zone. He will be spotted at the 1-yard line. My goodness.
Dave, we're going to take another look at this, but I don't know if you can start a game as well as a
Running on the field, the runner is down at the 1-yard line. First down, Arkansas.
He was able to get it out of the end zone. I mean, but Arkansas on special teams just has hurt themselves. The opening kickoff, you kicked it out of bounds. Here, the opening kick of the third quarter, you fumble the ball, and it's right there on the 1-yard line. Earlier, the Mississippi State punt unit, Jaden Wally, was able to pin them inside the half-yard line. This time, they're inside the half-yard line again for this possession.
Let's go down to Tiffany.
Guys, I spoke with Coach Sam Pittman coming out of halftime, and he told me they gained a little bit of momentum, but not a whole lot was working for them, guys.
Well, that run didn't work either. Mississippi State fired up with Arkansas backed up in the shadows of the Leo Seal M Club building.
Any momentum that you had, if you're Arkansas, you kind of lost it there in that situation.
Sanders in the backfield. The Rocket in that first half. 12 carries, 46 yards. Now his 13th carry. He'll take it to the 5. Brought down by Nathaniel Watson. Watson back on the field. He missed the first half because of targeting in a game last week against A&M. And you know he has got some juice right now with this crowd, the situation, and missing that first half. He's ready to go.
Well, he's definitely ready to go, and you can see on that particular play his ability to be able to get to the ball carrier.
Hornsby out of the end zone, buys a little time, and then overthrows everybody, looking for Trey Knox. And it'll be a punting situation. This is a dangerous situation, too. Not a whole lot of room to work with if you're Arkansas.
We'll take another look at it, and they're only rushing 3 guys, and so, not a lot of separation for the Arkansas receivers down the field, and Hornsby just throws this football away, and you just didn't help yourself with that first possession. Didn't gain anything from the momentum you had in that second quarter.
Reed Bauer stands in the back of the end zone. Thomas at midfield. Boy, a good high coverage kick. Boy, they needed a good punt. They got a good one, a really good one. That'll be down at the 41-yard line. Good job by Bauer. 53-yard punt, no return. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Hey guys, just to finish up that halftime report, Sam Pittman did tell me, not a whole lot was working for them, but that Malik Hornsby did give them a big spark before halftime. He said offensively, if they can get a touchdown, they're back in this game. Defensively, he told me, we have got to stop Mississippi State's run.
Yeah, that's the big question. We've talked about it. You heard Takeo back in the studio talking about 3-man front, not getting a whole lot of pressure, and you're just basically gifting them a few yards every time, before they get the momentum going. Let's see how they play it here in the second half. Deuce, from a coordination standpoint, is it just running a safety, bringing an extra body up, getting a linebacker closer to the line?
Either that or those guys on the edge. You've got to get them more involved in the run game, and I think that they're not doing a great job of that.
Well, that's deflected at the line of scrimmage. It falls incomplete. Landon Jackson there making a nice play defensively. It'll be second down and 10.
We've seen Arkansas be able to get their hands up a couple of times, and that time Landon Jackson is able to get his hand on the football as far as to tip that pass, and that they're trying to hit him on that second level. When you talk about linebackers being able to step up and knocking down football, they've done a pretty good job of it so far.
Ducky goes in motion. Rogers scans the field, pass is caught there into Arkansas territory. Goes Rufus Harvey, bumped down by Bumper Pool. Gain of 12.
Talk about Will Rogers understanding and knowing you have crossing routes, and Rufus is able to just find that soft spot in the defense and gives his quarterbacks his number.
Bumper Pool, by the way, just tied Tony Bua for Arkansas's career tackles list. Top of the list, 408. Ducking goes out of bounds. So there's Bumper Pool now with 408 career tackles.
A lot of tackles, Dave.
Yes, that's a ton of tackles.
A lot of tackles.
He averaged 11 tackles a game in 2020. He averaged 10.5 tackles last year. Off the left side, hard run by Dylan Johnson. What a career for Bumper Pool, the senior out of Lucas, Texas. Now up to 408 tackles. He and Sanders make a nice combination at that linebacker spot.
Well, they're all over the field. They're smart players. They've seen a lot of football. They've played a lot of football, and they're just able to make plays.
Little toss sweep to Johnson. Pushes his offensive lineman out of the way, nowhere to run. Latavius Brini played it extremely well.
Nice job. You got a stunt. Nice job by your safety. Brini coming up and making that tackle. I mean, Mississippi State looked like they had some room on the edge, but nice job by your safety being able to come up and make that tackle.
Brini, of course, been 4 years playing for the University of Georgia, his first year at Arkansas. Second down, Rogers. Throws it, ducking, and touchdown, Mississippi State. 33 yards. And here it comes, the best touchdown celebration in college football.
Dave, we're going to take another look at this, and this is almost like just a switch route. He gives us numbers up, but since you don't have any pressure, there is nothing that safety can do. I mean, he looks, he stops, looks at the quarterback, and then he takes off. If Will Rogers has that much time, he's going to find the open receiver every time. And the football was perfect as far as the pass was concerned.
Oh, a botched point after. And that'll go nowhere, so the score will stay at 27-10. Ducking just picked up his 7th touchdown reception of the season. He is in the top 10 in the country in that department. Will Rogers, his 3rd touchdown pass today. Give him 22 on the year. SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate. Remind you that football season is mayhem. Well, there is Caleb Ducking, 7 touchdown catches this year out of Holmes Community College. Waddle, baby, just waddle. Well, we got to see it firsthand. I love it. Makes me chuckle every time I see that. They're not chuckling over there on the Arkansas sideline, though. I guarantee you that after that little run right at the end of the second quarter, some of the sting of that last Mississippi State drive will resonate. Of course, it started with the errant kickoff return that backed them up at the 1-yard line on their first possession of the 3rd quarter. So now, at least you get some room to breathe now.
And if we take another look at it, you know, you're only rushing 3, you're dropping 8 into coverage. But, I mean, Will Rogers is just way too good, and that's a double move from Ducking the receiver, and he's able just to get matched up on your nickel, and nothing he can do.
That'll be a first down gain right out of the gate by Sanders, and here comes some of that tempo by Arkansas. They just haven't had many opportunities to really get going like when they're rolling on offense and they go at this tempo, man, it's fun to watch. They just haven't been able to do it today. Here's Hornsby. Has a man wide open down the right side. Hazelwood to the 20. Another big play for the Arkansas offense. How is he getting so wide open?
I think that's miscommunication. You look at Duncan and you look at Jalen Green, and both of those guys not being on the same page, and Duncan kind of floating, and I don't know if he was going to take the robber as far as across the middle, but nobody going with the post route.
Here's Sanders off the left side. He'll pick up 6 after that 44-yard gain. Jet Johnson with the tackle for Mississippi State.
And I think some of that also, Dave, is the tempo that you mentioned by Arkansas offensively.
Sanders off the right side, couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down. 3rd down and about 2. Arkansas in the red zone. They are 18 out of 23 in the red zone coming into today. Trying to convert here on 3rd down. Hazelwood goes in motion. They'll run it off the right side with Sanders. Trying to get a stiff arm, and he does. To the 5, hard run down to the 2. Big boy run from Rocket Sanders.
Nice job, nice physical run there by Rocket Sanders. I would love for him to get going north a lot sooner, but he's able to get to the corner and still be able to pick up the 1st down.
Well, they are working Sanders hard today. He'll take it down to the 1. It'll be 2nd and goal. Tyrus Sweet, Cameron Young make the stop.
And that's one right there. If I'm Hornsby, I want him to pull that football. I mean, all of the attention is going to Rocket Sanders. He's going to come out of the game now. From a defensive perspective, at least, I'm probably bringing pressure off of the edge just because I'm expecting quarterbacks to be able to keep it.
The redshirt sophomore quarterback Malik Hornsby gets the snap. Handoff off the left side. That one goes to Johnson, and he is stopped shy. So now it'll be 3rd and goal.
Yeah, and they get Sanders back into the game. Dominic Johnson here. You're too big of a guy. You've got to be able to put your shoulder pads down, and you've got to go find a yard there. I never thought he was forceful enough from that running back position.
Rashad Dubinion in the backfield, the true freshman. Landers goes in motion. Here's Hornsby, throws it too far out for Landers to make the catch. It'll be 4th and goal.
Dave, we'll take another look at it, but he's there. You got to take something off of this throw. I mean, but there's no way. I mean, he is wide open. That's the play, probably the play before that you gave it to Johnson that you want to run, and now Mississippi State is going to call a timeout.
Well, Zach Garnett just bolted down that near sideline to get a timeout. The defensive coordinator for Mississippi State. So the Bulldogs will take a timeout. It is 4th down and less than a yard. We will step aside. Back in a moment. Time that you want KJ Jefferson in this game. It's right now at 6'3", 242, just a massive human being with great athletic skills. But he has to watch this one because of the injury suffered last week against Alabama. And they turn it over to Malik Hornsby. 4th and a yard. Boy, they will push 4 receivers.
Yeah, you have a quad look up top. You have a quad look, and now Mississippi State matches up.
And you have a single receiver in near side. And now they'll bring everybody inside, and here comes some motion from Dubinion. They'll hand it to him, and he's walloped immediately. The Bulldogs get the stop.
This is all because of the pressure off of the edge. You can't run this play with nobody blocking the edge. Nothing. Jackie Matthews had nobody. He was concerned with no one even touched him. He was concerned with nothing. Once the handoff was there to the running back, he's untouched. He is untouched.
Time to get an AT&T 5G studio update. Peter.
Thank you, Dave. Indeed, it is time for the AT&T 5G studio update. In fact, not one but two plays. The first one here, Hidden Hooker, have a day. Arley found Jalen Hyatt once. Twice is just as nice. Vols rolling up 23 in Death Valley, and Montrell Johnson had a touchdown as well.
Thank you, Peter. Here, 27-10. Bulldogs in control. Get that fourth down stop. Marks with the handoff. 8:04 to go third quarter. I mean, it's hard to play the what-if game, but, you know, every Arkansas fan is sitting there thinking, man, if we just had KJ Jefferson in that type of situation, outcome probably would have been a little different. Rodgers down the middle, passes caught. That'll be a first down out over the 35-yard line. Goes Griffith, 34 yards. Chavez back there in coverage.
Dave, you can talk about a lot of different things about a quarterback, but this is on a rope with pretty good coverage there by Chavez. The post route there by Griffin, on time. He drew a pass interference earlier in this game, and that time he comes up with a reception.
First down and 10. Rodgers has now thrown for 283 yards. That pass is caught by Justin Robinson. Former University of Georgia wideout. Out of McDonough, Georgia with the catch.
Late flag.
And a late flag came in.
I think they made
late. I saw it late. I don't necessarily know if they dropped it late.
It's against Mississippi State, whatever the call is.
Yard and penalty is enforced from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
So since it's a screen, they were saying that, you know, normally it's 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, you get 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage. I don't think that's a pass interference call after looking at it once, looking at it again. And so it's a screen all the way. I guess it's just, that's a tough one, Dave. I mean, normally you get 1 yard as far as the receiver is concerned. Maybe it was because it was a forward pass and not behind the line of scrimmage.
That'll back up Mississippi State all the way to the 20-yard line. They'll need to get it out to the 45 for a first down.
Now Coach Leach is going to call timeout.
Coach Leach trying to get an explanation on that call as well, as our crew is over there. But look at right on the 40-yard line, number 11, Wally. You see him trying to make the block right here. And I mean, if he is, the look like the ball was caught, and so now he becomes a downfield blocker. But it's all about that timing.
It's the timing of the pass. And it's really, you know, when you talk about it, you normally get 1 yard. But I think, you know, the officials, like you talked about, are talking with Coach Mike Leach.
So there's the catch, and that's tough. I mean, he made contact with the defensive player.
Mississippi State is ruling the challenge the ruling on the field that the ball was touched beyond the line of scrimmage. The play is under video review.
Well, they want to review it. They're going to talk about Mississippi State is challenging the play. They want to review. Coach Leach is trying to get a review of the play. And, you know, from my understanding, the ball has to be caught behind the line of scrimmage, or the football has to be caught prior to. And man, that is a bang play as far as the block and the catch is concerned.
So where is the line of scrimmage?
Dave, I'm really not sure there. After looking at it, I mean, it's almost he is making the catch. Is it a forward pass, or is it behind the line of scrimmage?
Ball sitting right there at the 35. Boy, he puts his hands on it at the 35.
Yeah.
After video review, the ruling on the field stands. Mississippi State is charged a timeout and loses their challenge for the game. After enforcement of the penalty, it's first down from the 30-yard line. 20-yard line, correction.
Dude, I mean, there were two things that were so close there. A, where he caught the ball, and B, when he caught it, how close did the contact make Jaden Walley? Was it before
the catch?
Because if it was after the catch, you could obviously go block him. But they were so bang, both of them.
And I don't think that you have enough video evidence to be able to say which way or the other. So the thing always is, if there's not enough video evidence, you stick with the call that's made on the field.
(27 to 10), 6:42 to go, third quarter. Here's Marks. He's to the 30-yard line. Drew Sanders now with 14 tackles. Bumper Pool has 13 tackles. A gain of 11. It'll be second down and 14.
There's no way that you can ask that linebacker to cover that much space. He's in the middle of the field. The back is already released. He's on the numbers. There's no way that you can ask him to cover that much space as far as a coverage standpoint. Will Rogers is checking down every time.
Will at 294 through the air. Boy, Tulu almost had a great catch. He felt some, or heard some footsteps in the neighborhood.
We'll take another look at it here, and seen Tulu come up with the catch earlier. That time he felt it, and one he probably should have had. You've got Hudson Clark playing that middle of the field safety. Gets his hand involved there as well. Mississippi State with late substitution. It's going to be tough getting this play off. If Arkansas subs here, they have to allow them to be able to sub.
Arkansas going to stay with their 11. Play clock at 4. They get the snap off. Three-man rush. Rogers. Flags come out right through the hands of the intended receiver, Justin Robinson. And holding against Mississippi State.
Holding. Offense, number 58. The penalty is declined. Result of the play is fourth down.
One step forward, two steps back for Mississippi State on this drive.
And from a penalties declining, that's why Arkansas's defense is slow to exit the field, just because Mississippi State hadn't been in this situation a lot where they've had to punt the football.
Archer Trafford will punt this away. Bryce Stevens back to return. Nice punt. That'll take Stevens back inside the 20, and he is dropped right there. Good coverage by Mississippi State. J.P. Purvis getting down, making a play on special teams. But Arkansas will have the football down 17. 5:53 to go here in the third quarter. Special teams much better this year for Mississippi State. Good coverage by the Bulldogs. Our mayhem moment presented by Allstate, and we'll go back to the fourth down stop on the goal line, 4th and a yard, and the Bulldogs bringing the mayhem to the Razorbacks. Hogs, though, trying to answer back after they get a stop. They go to Rocket Sanders on the handoff. They'll pick up 4 on the carry.
Outside zone, Rocket Sanders being able to get the football kind of gets clipped there by Jet Johnson first.
Here's Sanders. Boy, that is his 21st carry, his 20th carry of the ball game.
Well, you knew he was going to get worked, and they wanted to get him 20 carries this game. I think that they wanted him to probably be a lot more productive. He's held up his end of the bargain just needed some help.
86 yards on the ground with a touchdown for Sanders. 3rd down and 3. Hornsby has time. He's got Sanders wide open. Comes to him on this side. And here's Rocket. He's out over the 40 to the 45. Boy, if he'd gotten to him a second or two earlier, that could have been a huge game.
Yeah, just a nice job, really, by that offensive line. Mississippi State is only rushing 4 guys, and just like we talked about Arkansas, how they play. You're asking a lot for a linebacker to be able to cover the flat when he's still in the middle of the field. And Hornsby finally gets the football to Rocket Sanders for the 1st down.
First down and 10. Dominion in the backfield. They'll stack 4 to the right hash and go that way with it. Here's Hazelwood. Mississippi State all over it. Maroon jerseys swarming the football. Colin Duncan, the first one there.
Arkansas started with this quad look earlier. Didn't like it, brought everybody else in on the goal line, and now we get another variation of this quad look. And Mississippi State says, hey, look, we're going to chase the football. We don't care where you line up.
Hornsby. All day to throw. Going deep down the field. Has a man. It's caught. Touchdown. Bryce Stevens. 54 yards. What a throw from Hornsby.
Dave, we can talk a lot about Will Rogers and his football, the football that he threw. This was a laser and a rope. All day by the offensive line, Arkansas up front. And Richardson is there, but I mean, that was outstanding ball placement by Hornsby to be able to get it to Stevens.
Hornsby now 7 of 10 for 229 and a touchdown. And this point after by Little is up and good. We got ourselves a 10-point ball game here in Starkville. Arkansas, no quick start last week against Alabama in the 3rd quarter. Closed that game down before the Tide ran away with in the 4th, though.
Taking a look at it, Stevens, he goes up and he's just able to catch this football, and it's one-on-one. And obviously that starts because of the offensive line. We'll take another look at it here. You're able, you got quads and you try to overload one side. And I like my one-on-one matchup. Let me see if my receiver can make a play for me down the field, and that's exactly what Bryce Stevens is able to do.
Boy, Blake Hornsby has also rushed the football today for 63 yards. He's thrown for 229. And Arkansas right back in this thing again. 3:33 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Matter of fact, I wouldn't suspect this, but Arkansas has now outgained Mississippi State today, 391 to 389.
It's been the mistakes. It's been the mistakes that they've had overall is one of the reasons. I mean, Mississippi State has been really efficient with the football, but Arkansas has not helped itself one bit.
Boy, picked up there by Griffin. That was a dangerous kick, but it worked out pretty well. There's a flag down at the 31, though. Another exceptional return for the electrifying return man, but we'll wait on this flag.
And I think he lost it as far as the flight of the football in the sun, and it is going to be holding, I think, against Mississippi State to back them up.
During the return, holding, return team. The 10-yard penalty is enforced from the spot of the foul. It'll be 1st down, Mississippi State.
Time to get an update. Peter, what's going on?
All right, Dave, Florida and Missouri were tied at 10.5, and it has been all Gators in the 2nd half. This one, Anthony Richardson to Ricky Pearsall. They're up 24-10. And how about Texas up 42-0 over future SEC member Oklahoma?
I mean, it's crazy what's going on in Oklahoma right now.
Very much so. I know that, from a talent standpoint, a lot left when you lose your coach. But, man, that is very surprising.
Here's the handoff to Dylan Johnson to start the drive. 3:50 go the third quarter.
Defensive tackle Cameron Hall made a play right there, and we haven't seen that line make a ton of plays, being able to work off of the center a little bit.
Rodgers, quick slant, and no flags. Caleb Ducking was the intended receiver. McLaughlin there in coverage. Bumper Pool heading off the field.
Took another look at it and just trying to run a slant route. And you see, obviously, the right hand gets in there and poke the football out. The crowd is upset about that left hand kind of just being around the receiver.
7 passes broken up by this Arkansas defense today. 4 of those should have been interceptions. Pressure comes, and the throw is away and caught by Thomas. And he'll have the first down at the 36-yard line.
Nice job up front, that offensive line. Thomas able to run a little in-cutting route. Will Rogers sees him and able to place the football right where it needs to be.
Rogers with over 300 yards for the 5th time this year, 18th time in his career. There's Dylan Johnson. Tell you what, Arkansas has closed up some of those big gaps that we saw in that first quarter.
Doing a better job at the point of attack. But Mississippi State, for the most part, has done a nice job of just being able, when they've committed to running the football, being able to get some positive yards.
Second down and set. Nice hole off the right side for Johnson, brought down by Chris Paul. That's a gain of 11.
See Mississippi State, they run this little toss crack, and you talk about Cole Smith being able to get out front, pick off that linebacker, nobody filling the alley as far as your safety. You got to be able to have that safety coming up and making that play.
First down and 10. Quick hitter, pass caught there. Here's Rufus Harvey to the 30-yard line.
Dave, we saw this in the first half. Rufus Harvey, he's just running a stop route from that slot position. Earlier it was Austin Williams on the same page with his quarterback for another first down.
Dylan Johnson breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. It's a foot race to the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. 30 yards for Dylan Johnson. Best run of the day for Dylan Johnson. Johnson up to 98 yards on the ground, averaging 6 yards a carry. He came in averaging 6 yards a carry. That is the 3rd best average in the Southeastern Conference. Point after is up and good. Boy, this Mississippi State offense answered the call, didn't they?
That's exactly how you want to do it. The Bulldog offense, you talk about Hudson Clark earlier on one of those touchdown runs. That time he's got to make an open field tackle, and he's not able to do it. Dylan Johnson showing you a little speed. Nice job up front by that offensive line, but it's the missed tackles if you're Arkansas. It's the missed opportunities there, and Dylan Johnson able to dive for the end zone for the score.
Great shot from up high on camera as Johnson picks up his second touchdown of the afternoon. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Guys, Will Rogers told me the thing about Dylan Johnson is that he just is so physical. He said he rarely gets tackled by the first person, and he runs the ball hard. He said he's a guy that is always fighting, and what better example of that than that touchdown run, guys?
Yeah, he's just part of a nice combination. He and Marks have really turned into a exceptional SEC running back duo. Will Rogers up over 300 yards now. He's at 323. Johnson with 98 yards rushing. Marks with 43 yards rushing. And this kick will sail through the end zone out to the 25. Let's go back to Peter.
Well, LSU fans weren't too happy when they found out it was going to be an 11 a.m. kickoff. They probably not too happy with what's happening as well, too. Jabari Small punches it in, another touchdown. Vols rolling. Remember, they face Alabama next week in Knoxville, 37-7. And Texas right now, 49-0. Woo, buddy. Texas back, Dave Neal?
Thank you, PB. 34-17. Getting late here in the third quarter. Malik Hornsby in the backfield at quarterback along with A.J. Green. Ball tapped in the air, knocked to the turf, incomplete. Nathan Pickering got back there in a hurry.
Arkansas trying to set up a screen, and Nathan Pickering does a nice job of just being able to get in the view of the quarterback. We'll take another look at it here. He reads it, and he's at that defensive end spot. Just does a nice job of getting his hands up and almost coming up with the interception.
Hornsby. That one is knocked away. Trying to get it to Matt Landers. Coverage by Emmanuel Forbes.
That time, Mississippi State defensively, they do bring an extra guy. One of their blitzes, first ones probably this half that they've had.
Bulldogs look like they're bringing some heat. Actually, they'll back off and rush three. Here's Hornsby. He'll have the first down and almost broke that for a huge gain. Jet Johnson just did get a piece of that shoe. Gain of 10. Hornsby flushed out of the pocket, will dump it off, and one hops back there to A.J. Green.
Dave, we talked about defensively. This is what we expected from this Mississippi State defense early on. They were probably playing a lot of coverage. Now you see them pick it up as far as the pressure is concerned.
Here's Green. He is hit and dropped. No gain.
And if I'm Arkansas, I just try to get out of the quarter. You want to regroup. You don't run another play. You want to get out the quarter. This place is rocking too.
That's the end of the third quarter. Timeout.
We start the fourth quarter. It is hopping here at Davis Wade Stadium. Man, they were not sitting down between the third and fourth quarter. As we start with a fresh 15, third down and 10 coming up for Arkansas. Here comes some pressure. Hornsby feels it. Gets a little block on the outside and has the first down and a whole lot more down to the Mississippi State 40-yard line.
Dave, that's one thing that he can do. When you start to bring pressure, that means you leave lanes open. If nothing is open for him down the field, he can take off and run with the football.
Hornsby looks to throw. He will dump it off to Stevens. Down to the 36-yard line.
Trying to work a quick game up top. Mississippi State Forbes did a nice job of taking it away, and he does a nice job of keeping his eyes down the field and find an open receiver.
Second down. Hornsby keeps it. And he'll run out of bounds. Might have lost a yard. Jalen Green and pushes him out of bounds. And he will lose the yard.
Mississippi State defensively, they're just so much more active with the pressures and guys coming off of the edge. And Hornsby doesn't have enough time to really look down the field when they decide to bring some pressure.
Third down and 8. They'll come to Sanders, who just short-armed it. Not sure what that was about.
That's the second time that we've seen an Arkansas receiver kind of almost short-armed it or was not on the same page with his quarterback. I know in that situation there, Hornsby just looking at it, he's got to learn and understand when to have a touch pass. I mean, because that ball has heat on it just to be a swing pass to a running back.
Well, fourth down, 4th and 8. Oh for 2 today in 4th down situations. Hornsby. He will throw it, and it's picked off. Jackie Matthews comes up with the interception. His first of the year.
We'll take another look at it, but there's nowhere to go with the football. And he is just really trying to throw this football up. He's got to get a little bit higher. Jackie Matthews just stepped in front of it and makes the interception. He also had the 4th down stop when they were on the 1-yard line. That was Jackie Matthews that was off of the edge that was unblocked. So 2 huge plays for Jackie Matthews in this game.
First down and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 30-yard line. Marks with the carry. Will pick up 6. That is the 7th interception by this Mississippi State defense this year. 11 gained turnovers on the season. They are now +3 in the turnover department. Marks tripped up at the 39 by Brini. It'll be 3rd and a yard.
See one of the adjustments defensively. Arkansas is rolling those safeties down to try to take away that toss crack outside sweep run. And there, you got Brini being able to make the tackle off of the edge, but thought that adjustment is probably a little bit too late in this game.
Mississippi State, I don't even know if this stat matters anymore as many times as they go for it on 4th down, but just 4 of 11 today on thirds. Make it 5 out of 12.
That's your offensive line up front, just getting movement on that defensive line, and a lot of twisting, a lot of stunning up front. But for the most part, Mississippi State has been able to pick it up.
Rodgers dumps it off to Marks underneath. Bumper pull out there, can't make the tackle. Hudson Clark flying, wraps him up, but another first down after a gain of 15.
Like I said, with this assignment, we'll take another look at it. You have the fake, so it sucks that linebacker up, but he's already outflanked. I mean, because now the running back, all he has to do is release in the flat, and he's got the linebacker outflanked already.
Rodgers stays in that pocket. That one's batted at the line of scrimmage, and a flag comes in late. The helmet comes off, some pushing going on.
And that may be what the flag is for, hands to the face. We're going to take another look at it. That's exactly what it is against Arkansas. It's a hands to the face and knock the helmet off of the lineman of Mississippi State. And Arkansas, probably a little bit frustrated that they can't get to the quarterback.
Nick Jones putting the helmet
Personal
back on.
foul.
Yeah, and he's able to stay on the field.
Defense number 40. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Number 66 can remain in the game as his helmet came off as a result of the play. The foul. After enforcement, it's first down.
And so Nick Jones playing left tackle, and he's done a pretty good job for Mississippi State at that position.
7 penalties, 62 yards against Arkansas today. A few of those cost them dearly in the first half. Rodgers going to the end zone, lofts it up in the air and a little too far, but a flag will come in. Trying to hit Robinson with it. Chavez back there in coverage. Was that?
Defense number 4.
Well, they're calling it pass interference. We'll take another look at it, but the question is going to be, was it a catchable pass?
Yeah, I think you got to call that catchable.
Yeah, Gresh, I agree with you. And so, I mean, if you're Arkansas, you're back to what you were doing earlier with the penalties. And, you know, just from a frustration standpoint, you only have one pressure of the quarterback. You're talking about a group that had 21 sacks coming into this game, and they have done zero to be able to get pressure on the quarterback.
Oh, little shovel pass. Marks. Good open field tackle, though, by Brainy to keep him from the end zone. It'll be second down from the 4-yard line.
It's just like a draw for the tailback, and I mean, it's just a shuffle pass up to him, but I mean, that's one thing, like you talked about, David. From a defensive end standpoint, you have to be able to feel that this tackle has led me up the field way too easy. And if you don't feel that, then we've seen them use that play a couple times, and they've been able to pick up a bunch of yardage with it.
They can get a first down right about the 1-yard line. Wally comes in motion. Another clean pocket. Receiver slips, but flags come in. It wasn't much of a slip, I guess. There was some contact there. Calvin hit the deck. Brainy was in there in coverage. And
pass interference, defense, number 36. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. The 2-yard line, correction, ball placed at the 2-yard line, and includes an automatic first down.
Arkansas bringing some pressure, and he was running a whip route. He was coming back out. He was going inside and coming back out, and you can see right there around the hips. He was never able, kind of helped to be able to slip, but he was never able to break back out.
so now it is first and goal from the 2. Here's Marks. Met at the line of scrimmage and powers his way into the end zone. His first touchdown today. Uh-oh. Boy, the 1-2 by Marks allowed him to get into that end zone. It was a big-time SEC collision right in front of that goal line.
Yeah, and he's got a little bit for that defender that he's run over. I mean, I think that's what really started. And you can see Arkansas defensively, they've just unraveled with penalties on that drive. But he had a couple love words, and that kick is missed. He had
just when you think that maybe you figured out the kicking game, this happens.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem.
They've been out here ready to go since, I don't know, Deuce, we were here 8 o'clock, 8:15 this morning, and, I mean, they were here in full force ready for some football today.
Yeah, we were late. I mean, for that party. I mean,
Yeah,
so you talk about being able to go over and see the guys at SEC Nation. I mean, but these fans have been fired up. At 11 o'clock, it didn't matter to them.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been a really good crowd for this homecoming team, and overall for this Mississippi State team, I think they put on a pretty good show.
You know, my buddy Charlie Cooper, who you met earlier today, told me to go meet him out at the tailgate. You know, be there early at 7:30. I go out there, he's nowhere to be found. So Charlie, listen, if you're listening, man, next time be on time. That'll sail through the end zone. I think I just lost my last invite to the tailgate.
Yeah, I think so as well. Charlie had some other issues going on as well.
Yeah.
He was getting hammered about from some other friends.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw him completely under the bus.
No. 10:28 to go here. And it has been Mississippi State. There have been moments for Arkansas. There's just not been enough of them.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, early on you tried to rotate the quarterbacks, and that really didn't work for you. Hornsby has given you a spark, but he got banged up, and things just never, you were able to really cash in on things.
You know, you start thinking about the big picture, and you wonder how much not having KJ Jefferson has affected them offensively, or how much has Mississippi State's defense been really good for the most part.
And I've never seen an offensive lineman come in and sub another offensive lineman out. That's really what happened on that play in the lineman. He was already down, as fast as Arkansas goes. He was already down in the stance, and he got subbed out. But I think, KJ would have made a huge difference for this Arkansas offense. For the most part, he would have been able to calm them, and that's one of the things they haven't been able to do.
Here's the freshman, Rashad Davinian, who certainly has become a favorite of his head coach, Sam Pittman. The youngster has a ton of talent.
Just a nice job of being able to find that soft spot in the zone. I mean, for the run game, to be able to pick up the yardage.
Hornsby. Here's Malik. He will get out of bounds inside the 45. Nice run by Hornsby. And the other thing is, there was a lot of question about Hornsby and how much he'd play quarterback, and we were going to see Cade Fortin, but he clearly has been the spark offensively. He didn't start the game, but he has brought certainly a dimension to this offense this afternoon.
Dave, you talked about the frustration that he had put his name in the transfer portal. I mean, for Arkansas, they had moved him kind of the receiver to try to use his skill set, but his ability to be able to make plays with his legs and as well as to make a couple of throws, we've seen him be able to do so today.
Boy, a big hit on first down. They'll lose a yard.
Tyrus Wheat comes up and makes a high tackle, but that's how you rally to the football defensively.
Big hole, the bunion. And the helmet comes flying off as Dominion now close to that line to gain. Watson's helmet came off, so he'll have to leave for a play. Remember, he didn't play in the first half because of targeting last week. And now he looks a little banged up. Malik Hornsby up over 100 yards rushing. He's in the backfield with Dominion. They'll hand it off to the freshman. He'll have the first down inside the 30-yard line.
Big guys up front still giving you a lot of effort for this Arkansas team.
Dominion out of Ellenwood, Georgia, went to Cedar Grove High School. Hornsby throws against his body, and that one is picked off in the end zone. Emmanuel Forbes with another interception. His fourth. Of course, had the huge pick six for a touchdown last week and a circus catch of the end zone to snuff out an Arkansas drive. Well, coming up next, number 9 Ole Miss taking on Vanderbilt at Nashville, 4 o'clock Eastern time. And then at 7:30, it'll be Kentucky hosting South Carolina in our SEC Saturday night matchup. Both games also available on the ESPN app. First down and 10. That ball's batted down, another one. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Emmanuel Forbes was sporting a Stark Vegas chain after that interception. He told me this defense calls themselves the Takers, and he said he just relies on his instincts, having been a receiver before. He played it in high school, said he switched because he didn't like to get hit. He told me if the play's coming my way and I can make a pick, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, he certainly has made some picks in his career. He now takes over the SEC lead right now with 4 interceptions on the year. Handoff goes to Simeon Price. And now Mississippi State will try to chew up as much of this clock as possible. Bulldogs on the road for a couple of games. After this one, they'll go to Kentucky, to Alabama. Rodgers. And it's incomplete. Trying to hit ducking with it and just couldn't hang on. Chavis back there in coverage.
Ducking has a shot at this football. Gets his hands on it twice, still not able to bring it in. Arkansas brings pressure, and so Will Rogers takes that one-on-one up top to try to let his big receiver make a play for him.
Stevens back to return this punt, directing traffic instead as this takes a Mississippi State roll inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. 6:25 to go in this one. It's all Bulldogs. Been a good day if you're a Mississippi State football fan. You've put up 40 points and held the opposition to 17. Don't forget South Carolina and Kentucky coming up at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Excuse me, at 7:30 Eastern time on SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss and Vandy at 4 o'clock Eastern time right here on the network. 6:25 to go in this one. Mississippi State, another 500-yard offensive performance. The second time they've done it this year. They did it against Memphis. 547 yards against the Tigers. Arkansas's offense, though, I mean, listen, it's been big play driven, but they're closing in on 500 yards. They're at 478.
Well, that's the explosive plays for Arkansas. You figured that they would be grinding it out with that run game, but it's been the explosive plays and some busts as far as coverage by that Mississippi State unit.
You know, a couple of questionable throws
to 40 seconds.
By Malik Hornsby, one down on the goal line. He had a receiver open on a 3rd and goal situation and just threw it too hard to a wide open receiver, and then they couldn't stick it in on 4th down. And that kind of changed the whole dynamic of the second half. Dominion. He is stopped after a gain of a couple by Devontae Russell. Now it's 3rd down and 7.
Arkansas offensively were in a 5-wide set. Now they go back to, and now you get your offensive line moving. They go back to a regular formation, and Coach Pittman is saying,
he is so hot.
Yeah, he has not gotten a call whatsoever. So you have another official that comes in, and Arkansas linemen are trying to say, hey, look, they're calling out signals. That's why we moved. And I don't think he's going to win it.
False start. Offense, number 55.
Boy, Sam Pittman's going to have a word. You're right. I mean, nothing's gone their way in that regard today.
There's been about 3 situations where he wanted a different call, and none of them have went his way.
So now you're backed up 3rd and 12. Pressure comes. Hornsby sneaks out the right side, pump fakes, cuts it back, and he is walloped from behind. A big hit coming from Tyrus Wheat.
Dave, we see the pressure, and Arkansas does a pretty good job of picking it up, but I'm surprised that Hornsby didn't just use his speed. He's got Pickering that's chasing him, and it was really Tyrus Wheat catching him from behind, but I'm surprised that, hey, look, I'm not going to fake it at all. Pickering, you just got to catch me on the edge.
Zach Arnett telling us at our meetings, the defensive coordinator, that he needed Tyrus Wheat to be more destructive this week. I think there was some destruction on that play.
It's a big-time hit.
Yeah, it was. Reed Bauer to punt it away. Thomas back to return it. It's a line drive kick. Thomas wrapped up immediately. Good coverage by Arkansas, and the Bulldogs will have the football when we come back. Under 4 minutes to play in this one. Could Mississippi State continue to run the ball as well as they have been running it to this point? And the answer is an emphatic yes. 158 yards on the ground today, Deuce. That surpasses their season average of over 60 yards. I mean, it's been an impressive display. 46 passes, 33 rushes today.
Well, and it set the tone for the beginning of the game. I mean, they came out, their first couple of snaps were runs, and that set the tone for them offensively.
Yeah, 6 straight runs to start this game for Mississippi State. Their opening possession went 9 plays for a touchdown, 6 rushes, and 3 passes.
And that was the thing that you wondered coming into this ball game, were they going to be committed to the run because they've had so much success? And you look at Arkansas defensively, they've been light in the box, and you have to have those safeties that have to fill that lane if you're going to only have 5 guys to kind of protect yourself because of the pass, and just hadn't done a good job of it.
They're letting this play clock wind down. It's at 10 seconds now. Johnson, his first career 100-yard game today, 17 for 100 yards. Pass is caught, big hit on the back end. McLaughlin hitting Jordan Mosley. 14-yard pickup though.
Dave, and that's the thing that you want to kind of to protect it, and that's why you see, I don't think that this is a scheme deal for Arkansas. It's more of a personnel-driven situation.
I agree with you.
Situation, just because you don't have so many of those players on the back end, so you want to protect some of the things that you do, and Mississippi State has just had some success against it.
Yeah, not the game to come in without three starters on in your secondary.
That's tough.
Or your starting quarterback, I might add. J.J. Jefferson, of course, didn't practice until Wednesday. Flew with the team. One of the first ones off the bus, put his uniform on, was out on the field throwing the ball around and warm-ups. And it wasn't until shortly before kickoff that we got word that he was not going to be available today and that they were going to go with a combination of Cade Fortin and Malik Hornsby. And really it's been Hornsby. Fortin got the start.
Well, there was the big run by Hornsby, but he got tackled on a play on the quarterback draw, and he had to miss some time. And so, you talk about a series or two, maybe it would have been a little bit different for them offensively.
Going up top, here's Mosley, makes the catch. Oh, mark him out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, this is just a go route. You're up in press coverage, one-on-one situation, and that is the walk-off for Will Rogers,
yes.
That throw.
That is it. He will walk it off to the sideline and turn it over to Sawyer Robertson now. Literally threw it up in the air and started heading to the sideline. J.J. Jernigan in the backfield as well. But Sawyer, the redshirt freshman out of Lubbock, boy, good-looking kid, 6'4", 215. Here's Jernigan. He is hit and dropped by Hudson Clark as we go under 1:20 to play. Rogers will finish the day. 31 of 48, 395. Look, he's got 7 400-yard passing games. Before he took over as a starting quarterback, they'd only had 8 in the history of this program. And now he's 5 yards shy of his 8th.
And he won't get a chance to do it, but I think there's maybe a few more games he may get that opportunity.
On second down, Jernigan with the carry. It'll be third down. We talked about what's in store for this Mississippi State team with a couple of road games at Kentucky, at Alabama. And for Arkansas, it's at BYU, at Auburn. Another physical game in store coming up next Saturday for this Arkansas team. Sam Pittman's group, they are just trying to fight through this injury bug right now. They got to get some help on defense, and they really need to get their quarterback back in the game. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Coach Leach, your team fought to not let Arkansas back into this ball game. What did they show you today?
Well, Arkansas is a really explosive team. Well, we're kind of explosive, but Arkansas was even more explosive than we were today. I thought we were a little more consistent. But, our guys hung in there, and we had our share of adversity, some we created. I thought their quarterback did an extremely good job. Heck, he's harder to tackle than the other ones. And then, so there was no breathers there. And then, but I was proud of our guys hanging in there, trying to get a complete game and taking pride in what they did down to the end. And it can be tough sometimes when the other guy gets those big plays in chunks, sometimes people get discouraged, but we didn't.
With Will Rogers, he sets a new SEC career completions record What's given him such a command over this offense?
Well, I was trying to figure out what record it was. First of all, he's smart. Second of all, he studies film all the time. Third of all, he's a tireless worker with his guys throwing in the off season, and he's a guy that kind of elevates even the other sides of the ball.
Thanks so much, Coach. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
All right. A happy Coach Leach as this team now goes to 5-1. You know, they were ranked one other time in the top 25 under Coach Leach a couple of years ago. The first game out as a top 25 team, Arkansas beat them, and they haven't been back since. This time, they held serve here at home.
Yeah, they held serve, and I think, you know, it really starts with the quarterback. If you can keep Will Rogers upright defensively, they're going to give you a chance to be in this game. And so I'm interested to see, you know, can they continue the trajectory that they're on from an offensive and defensive.
Well, pretty good performance all the way around for the Bulldogs. They'll certainly exit Davis-Wade Stadium in a very good mood on a gorgeous day. Hope you enjoyed some SEC football. 4 o'clock Eastern, Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. For Deuce McAllister, Tiffany Blackman, the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long from Starkville. Let's get you to the studio.
Thank you, Dave. Welcome into